morning. It's Andrea from the Schmidt House. So it's Black Friday, and I decided to get up early and go hunting. Just pulled up here to the pasture. Gonna see if I can't see a decent doe this morning and shoot it. Maybe hopefully see some nice bucks would be fun too. So it's about 34 degrees right now. Sunrise is in about an hour and a half, so I want to get loaded up. I brought the little buddy heater. Carrie got it all set up for me earlier this week. It's got some fresh propane. He started it so I can get in there and get warmed up and settled before the sun comes up. So I'm going to take you along today, and hopefully we can shoot a deer this morning. I made it to the blind. I'm being a little louder than I probably should right now, but I had to carry the little buddy heater in. As you can see, it's about the only thing visible here in the dark. Still got like an hour and a half until sunrise, maybe a tiny bit longer even, but the sun will start to get bright at least 30 minutes before then. Very clear, could see a whole bunch of stars as I was walking in. So I'm gonna have some coffee I brought in my thermos, just sit here in the peace for a little while until the sun comes up. Well, I just shot a doe. There was a buck on there too. So there's that buck. It's coming over here. It's still here. I'm sorry. Lower it down some. He's coming right here. big as that buck. There's the doe. The other doe is still out there too. She was bigger than that one. Oh, it's not bad sized actually. Okay, well, I'm gonna get her field dressed. You know, it's a beautiful morning. Probably still in the mid 30s. Okay, well, let me get to work. Okay, well, I've got it gutted. Here behind me, you can see. I'm not going to get into the gory details of that. But Carrie and I got a new lift for the back of the truck, so I'm going to show you here what we're going to try to use. So Carrie and I are getting older, and it's becoming more and more difficult out here to deal with the deer. Plus, we don't really have a way to process them once we get them home. We'd like to start doing that ourselves, save some money, and I don't know, it's just better. We know exactly what we're getting. So anyways, we got this for out in the field to help us lift the deer up off the ground and get it in the truck. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to lower this leg. Well, I say real quick. I've never done it before. It may take me a bit to figure this out for the first time. But we're going to get it up off the ground, and I'm going to get it in the truck. And then we'll bring it home, and we'll have that set up now in the garage or in our shed to process deer. The other day when we did that other one, we just had to rig up some lines up in the top of the shed, so we'd rather not do that if possible. Plus, we can lift this one up higher and lower, and it's got this crank over here we can hook on either to a rope or to that piece right there that's stuck on the shovel. So let me see if I can get this deer over here and lift it up off the ground. Okay, so I put her head up so she can drain some of that blood, just drip out here for a few minutes, and I'll show you what I did here. But wow, that was a lot easier. So I just tied this rope around her neck up here, just kind of looped it around so I could get her off the ground. Now she can drain. So Harmony came with me last year on one of the hunting trips when I shot a deer last year, and it was very hard, even with her help, to get it up off the ground. So this is way easier. So I'll let her hang here for just a few minutes. And then what's nice about this thing is this is a swivel right here. So I can take this off, and I should be able to swivel this around and put the deer on the back of the truck without having to kill my back or shoulders or neck or anything else. This actually will go up higher too. I have it pretty high right now, so I'll crank it up a little bit higher in a minute, and then just swing its legs over and show you how this works. I'll try to maybe set up the tripod so y'all can watch and see if it's difficult or easy this first time. Okay, I'm about to put this in the back of the truck. Before I did that though, I'll tell you this is a complete difference from last weekend. So last weekend, Carrie and I and the girls went down to Houston, or the Houston area, for one of my sister's baby showers. And we decided to just make a weekend of it. And on Friday, we went to the Children's Museum, which was really pretty neat. The girls hadn't been there, so we went there. Then we went and rode the train over by Herman Park and the zoo and Miller Outdoor Theater, and things that I had done when I was a kid. But we decided we were going to stop and get lunch, and we had one of my nieces with me. So we went to a McDonald's over where Astroworld used to be that I've stopped at many times growing up. It's still there, and Astroworld is gone, but the McDonald's is still there. So anyways, we went in there and we were eating, no big deal, everything was fine. And Carrie said there was this guy behind us, and we're pretty sure he was homeless guy. But one of the ladies that worked there came out and said, "I apologize, sir." And we thought they had just made a mistake on his food order. So anyway, he got up and he walked past, and then he sat where I could see him, and I didn't even know he was there until he walked past me. And he was sitting over in the corner, not eating anything. And finally, the lady came back out and walked up to him and said, "I'm sorry, sir, you cannot just sit and hang around in here." So it wasn't a mess up with the food. It was the fact that the guy was just loitering and hanging out in the store. So when she said that, the guy had a chain hidden around his neck, and he whipped this chain out, slammed it on the table, and yelling at her and like doing his finger like a gun, like that was he was going to come back for her. So she took off. He actually got up and left. About that time, I'm like, let's get out of here. And a big guy came out of the kitchen, and that guy was gone, and he went out looking for him. So Carrie and I packed the girls up, and we went outside, and we were loading them in the truck, and the guy's coming back. And he was kind of walking towards our truck. So Carrie and I were over on the driver's side getting the girls buckled in real quick as the guy was seeming to come towards us. So anyways, there's that shovel in the back of the truck. We didn't have any other weapons with us at the time. Probably should have had our pistol in the truck, but we didn't. And Carrie went and grabbed the shovel, and the guy, as soon as he saw Carrie pick up the shovel, he turned around and walked away. So we loaded up and we were out of there. So you just never know when in the Houston area or in a big city. So this is just a complete opposite being out here. Not that it wasn't nice doing that, but it's just, you got to be careful. So anyways, just an interesting story from last weekend, a complete opposite for this weekend. So I'm going to crank this up now and see how well the swivel part works. Hopefully y'all can see me on the video. See how this goes. Super easy, as long as my knot holds. Probably as far as we need to go. So I'm going to take this thing out, maybe. There we go. Okay, so it should swivel now. I probably could have gone the other way. It was a little closer. Okay, so I'm going to click this the other way. Slowly lower it. So far, so good. Okay. We've got its heart. We always keep the heart. We've got the one from Carrie shot earlier. See if I can get in this truck. I have to do it over here. This truck has a step, but I can't pull it out when this thing's on it. Okay. So I'm going to drag this in here a little bit more. There we go. And we'll just untie it here. And I have to say that was way easier. Okay. Okie dokie. So for the ride home, I guess I can just leave it like that. And unhook that. And let's see here. Put that back on there. Put this back in. And there we have it. Just leave that next time. Tamales. Okay. Okay. Put the heart in the car. I need to go put the tagging stuff back in the hunting blind. Let me walk over to the pond here just a minute. Clean my hands a little better. Clean these 2 knives off. They're kind of gross. Oops, oops, oops. And then I can come back and finish up. Okay, there you have it. Well, we haven't had water run into the pond for a long time, and still pretty high. I'm gonna see if I can't get down to the edge and wash my hands and this knife a little bit. Oh, got some raccoon. My stomach's growling. Raccoon prints. So they've been down here drinking. Hopefully not eating our fish. There's a few deer footprints over there in the mud. Okay, well, let me clean my hands and this knife and we'll be almost ready to go. So something you want to make sure you remember to do before you leave when you're using this thing is to pick this leg back up. Otherwise, you're going to break it or bend it and you won't have that support. So I'm going to pull this up right now before I forget. I don't know if you can hear those birds. Okay, well, I've got everything wrapped up and finished. I just grabbed the SD card, so if there's anything interesting on the SD card, video of any big bucks, or I may show this deer I just shot a little bit closer footage if the SD card wasn't full. We haven't checked it in a while. So I brought a piece of pecan pie this morning. I was going to eat in the blind. That didn't happen, so I may try it right now before I leave and head back. And then we'll be processing this ourselves at home. May show a little bit of that. We'll see. And then we're going to make a lot of ground meat this year. Last year we shot 2 deer and the ground meat ran out months ago. We still have a little bit of dried sausage, but the ground meat is so flexible. You can do so many different things with it. So we're going to try to make a lot more of that this year. So it'll hopefully get us maybe through the whole year, and we can have it more often. It's good, lean, healthier meat than the hamburger or pork. So even though we do add a little bit of pork to it, but it's still healthier. So we're going to get that done here, hopefully in January sometime. We're still not done hunting for the year. We've got some more hunting to do, so you might see some more videos. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. In the next video. Bye. So far, so good. It's actually working better than last time. Should have it cut up here shortly. Okay, so we're almost done. Just quarter it, 2 more cuts. We'll put it on ice till tomorrow or the next day. This thing's worked pretty well. We did have the cable get stuck up there in one of those pulleys, so you just need to watch and be careful about that, but we got it undone.
Took us what, 15 minutes?
If that, yeah.
Skin it and cut it in half.
Much easier than trying to do it the last time.
Yeah, but that took us probably an hour.
Yeah.
My crippled foot and back. And...
yeah. Okay, well, like I already said this, but thanks again for watching. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.